All right, now back to that breaking news. The search for a missing boy here in the Valley has been called off by Metro.
The department is set to give us an update on the investigation right now. I believe that they're just starting right now. Let's listen in.
I'm out here this morning to brief you on a homicide investigation that we are conducting that occurred yesterday morning. But before I start, I do want to recognize several groups that played a key role in this investigation for us to get to the point where we are at this morning. First off, I want to thank the members of Red Rock Search and Rescue. They had a lot of volunteers that spent a lot of time yesterday afternoon searching Sunset Park and assisting in our efforts to locate the 3-year-old child. In addition to that, Clark County Park Police, Child Protective Services, and also the FBI's Joint Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, which is a multi-jurisdictional group of officers from Homeland Security, the Esmeralda County Sheriff's Office, the National Park Service, and also members from pretty much every detective section along the Metropolitan Police Department. So I will start with what occurred yesterday morning. Yesterday morning we received a 911 call from a 20-year-old mother reporting that she had went to Sunset Park with her 3-year-old child. When she arrived at the park, she said she made a phone call. While she was on the phone, that the child had walked away. At that point, the 911 call was placed, and officers from Metro and Clark County Park Police responded and began searching the park, trying to locate the 3-year-old missing child. At that point, we began an exhaustive search, and at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we started to have some questions in regards to some of the details that were originally provided to us, and we started doubting if the 3-year-old was actually ever at the park. At that point, we launched 2 separate investigations. We continued with the missing persons investigation. However, we launched a criminal investigation because we suspected there could be possible foul play involved. So that was, again, 9 o'clock was when the call came in yesterday morning. We have worked this continually overnight for the last 20 hours, and about 2 hours ago we did locate the body of the 3-year-old child in a remote area near Lake Mead National Park. At this point, we do have 2 people detained who are suspects in that murder. Both those are the mother of the child and also the boyfriend of the mother. The suspect is a 40-year-old white male. The mother is also a 20-year-old white female. And again, with that, I'll take a couple questions. We are still got a lot of details and a lot of things that we are doing in this investigation. But with that, I will take a couple questions.
How many more details about the death can you reveal, like how he was killed or what the circumstances are around that? We
do have an idea of how we do believe the child was killed. I'm not going to put it out. I will tell you it was absolutely disturbing on how the child we believe was killed, but that will be pending autopsy.
So nothing accidental or of that nature, that maybe the parents got scared, it's purposeful?
There is nothing accidental about this investigation as far as the death of this child.
How long has the child been missing, and does that correlate with how old the body is?
Yes. We believe the actual time of we believe the murder actually occurred within the previous 12 hours from the original 911 call. And like I said, pending autopsy, that will solidify some of the details that we are learning at this point. But again, it's still early.
And there was just another 3-year-old that was found in the closet last week that we were doing a story on. Now this child's 3-year-old found dead. What's going on?
It is, again, I mean, it's deeply disturbing that I'm here talking to you very similar details a week and a half after the last child that was a victim of being murdered inside a house with the people who are supposed to care for them. So, you know, having children is stressful, having toddlers are stressful, having a baby is stressful. If you find yourself in a situation where you cannot care for your child, you can take your child to a fire station, you can take your child to a hospital, but this is absolutely, I mean, it's hard to deal with.
Has CPS investigated the mother before?
We, at this point, do not have any local history involving the mother here with Child Protective Services. We are looking into any possible cases outside of our jurisdiction, but again, it's still early on in this investigation.
Have the parents been arrested prior?
I'm sorry?
Does he have any siblings?
Yes, there was a 2-year-old as well that lived in the residence. That child has been taken into protective custody as well.
Any past charges for either parent?
Again, there are some prior criminal history that we are looking at, and those things are still being sorted out at this point.
What led police to doubt the mother's story that the child had never been at the party at all?
So the first thing is, I mean, there's quite a few details, I mean, that made us start having doubts. The distance between the parents' house and the reason they went to the park was to feed ducks. And when you live within walking distance of Lorenzi Park and you drive to Sunset Park was the first red flag. We could not find one person at the park that could remember seeing her there with the child. And several of those people stated that the first time they heard about the child being missing was when the police started searching in the helicopter, which, you know, if your child is missing and your 3-year-old comes up missing near a lake and you're trying to locate your child, there's going to be people at that park who are going to see you trying to locate the child, and we could not find anybody. So that, again, is when we started shifting our investigation and running a parallel investigation at that point.
Did she seem believable at first? Because it's quite the story to make up. Obviously, we're trying to cover up a homicide, but...
I mean, obviously, you know, I don't want to be in front of you right now talking about it. I mean, I wish it was a much better outcome. So you hope that the outcome was going to be better. But as investigators, I mean, we're, especially after what we just dealt with a week and a half ago, I mean, we're going to look very thorough into every detail that is provided. And the details that were originally given to us, we were skeptical of in the beginning.
You gave us some descriptions of the mother and the boyfriend. Can you tell us who they are?
I can't right now. They will be booked this afternoon. Both will be booked on multiple. They will be originally be booked on charges of child abuse for the 2-year-old who was recovered from the house. That child is also a victim of child abuse, so they're going to face charges of the child abuse, and then we again are investigating the homicide as well.
Are they both going to be charged with homicide or murder, or just one responsible because the other one went along with it? Do we know which parent is responsible for the death?
We do have an idea at this point. However, we believe at this point that you're going to likely see charges against both parents. So, all right. Thank you, guys.
All right, so that is Metro Homicide wrapping up a press conference. Not what we were hoping to hear. Obviously, the search has been on. The community has come behind this search, looking for this little 3-year-old since yesterday morning. They are saying they did discover his body near Lake Mead in a remote area, not close to Sunset Park, which is over in Henderson.
And the officer just saying that this was absolutely not an accident. Nothing about this was an accident. So this is now a homicide investigation. They do have 2 people in custody right now. We're going to stay on top of this, and we'll be right back.